Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the All About Favorites show. I am your host, Pastor KZ. Today is a day that you reset, y'all. It's all about Nike attire this week. Nike, I'm shouting your brand out. All right, everybody. And remember, all of the eyewear have made the eyewear line that I will be just displaying and giving you a miniature look at what we have put on the eyewear line. This particular frame is in two colors, y'all. So I love this frame. A lot of people liked it. It was one of the favorites. Also, I am running a contest. The contest, please go back and watch Monday's show, but it's about guessing Pastor K's birthday, her two favorite gospel artists, old school and new school, the top 5 R&B singers she liked. Go back and watch Monday's show. Now, I got to say this to my sister, Aquan, you are not in the contest. Sis, you can't be in the contest. To my sister Alda, you cannot be in the contest. To my brother KC, you are not in the contest. All of my other siblings, I want you all to participate because some of you don't know the answer to all of these questions. But those 3 of my siblings, you are exempt. And my brother Terrell, you're exempt, bruh. Don't y'all get in this. And y'all who know the names that I just called of my siblings, don't call them because they have been sworn to not. I'm going to have them sworn to secrecy. They can't give you the answer. But when the show, when the big reveal comes, I'll probably do that show, my birthday show, whenever that birthday is. I may have a couple of my siblings come on the show and give you the answers. How about that? And remember what the prizes are some different coffee mugs. And I may throw in a gift card. I don't know. That depends on just who gets every question correct. Everyone got to be correct. And I might do a first and second and third place maybe. Y'all, this show gonna bless you all this week. It's about real talk, meaning I talk about things that's real that you may not hear from pulpit. But it's going to bless you, meaning that this information and the content is beneficial to you. And if you don't feel like it's touching you or beneficial to you, share it with somebody who you know it is. Share it with people. Comment at the end of the video. My email address also, I forgot to mention it, is walkinfavor61@yahoo.com. I think my email address should be on my webpage on YouTube. So if I neglect to say it, please take a look at that. And don't forget, comment, y'all. If you don't want to comment, because some of you say, Pastor KZ, I just can't comment because the stuff I say, it will identify who I am. So I just prefer emailing you. But Real Talk Week this week. The topic today, time really doesn't heal all wounds. You just learn how to cope from day to day. That's the topic, and that's real talk. You hear the expression a lot of times, don't worry, baby, time heals all wounds. Time really does not heal all wounds. Has anyone ever lost a loved one, either via death or divorce or breakup? Anybody who has experienced that will tell you that the struggle with grief, sadness, abandonment, depression, these are real emotions, and that time does not always heal the hurt. Now, time can help you cope, but I believe that only God or whoever your higher power is, I believe that starts the healing process and can help you with the healing process. And again, I am no expert here. I am not a guru. This is full disclosure and disclaimer. I am only voicing my thoughts and my opinions on this show in order that you may be able to get some tools that you can use. Now, your higher power, as I stated on Monday, it's very important that you have a spiritual connection with the Most High. I just firmly believe that. I choose to call my higher power God. You can, your higher power, it may be something else, but you got to have some type of higher power connection. And for me, I know dealing with grief for me because I have experienced loss. Not only that, I've lost my mother, I've lost my father, I've lost grandparents, I lost aunts and uncles. So I am acquainted with grief. And one thing I know about grief, y'all, sometimes the times just goes by slow, and it feels some days just like yesterday when you got that phone call. So I know for me, what helped me the most have been the power of prayer, reading not only just the Bible, but other type of empowerment and grief related material, because it is so much material out there and tools you can use. And I am definitely telling you, y'all, it takes more than just prayer and reading the Bible. You have got to get around people who are centered, who can help cover you, help comfort you, and who maybe have gone through the same thing. That's why I'm all for grief support groups. I believe they help. Now, I want you to understand, notice I said that your spiritual walk, your higher power source only starts the healing process. And healing from grief especially is a process. From anything, any loss, it's a process that you go through. And sometimes that process may involve, you might not feel like answering the phone that day. Y'all know what? That's perfectly okay. Some days you don't feel like having interactions with people. You just want to sit and be by yourself. You just want to take a walk by yourself, or just kind of like reevaluate things. That's okay. Some people, don't let people tell you it ain't good for you to be alone. Sometimes you need to be alone. There's a song, and I was talking about this song, I think with my husband and I, we were talking about loss the other day. And he told me about a song that he likes. And you got to remember, my husband is of a different culture, so his type of music might not be the same as some of you viewers. But I mentioned to him about this song, and he's never heard of this song before, but I sung a little bit of it in my bad voice, and y'all have to excuse me for constantly clearing my throat. I am recovering from something right now. And I told him this song, it says, "There are days I like to be all alone, when I can tell God about my troubles, when I'm all alone." And I said, that song sometimes just, it puts me in the mind of when you just need to take a time out and just be by yourself. Now, and so when I hear people say, well, don't never be by yourself because that's the worst thing you can do. Sometimes you need to be by yourself. And understand, Pastor KZ is telling you, it's okay. Also, let me say this. You might not want to talk about it. Some people just, well, you got to talk about it, get it out. You might not be ready to talk about it. Sometimes, y'all, the pain is so bad, you can't even talk about it right then. There's maybe not be able to talk about it in a year or two. You just don't want to talk about what happened because you're still trying to process your emotions through what happened. I'm here to tell somebody watching today that it's okay to not want to interact with people some days. Now, please do not misinterpret what I'm saying. I mean, when you're doing this too much, that's when it becomes unhealthy. I am in no way, advocating for that. But when people tell you to just let it go, God is too wise to make a mistake. They're in a better place. No more pain. They ain't in pain no more. Well, just get over it, girl, and move on. Some things just aren't meant to be. Now, this isn't the case when relationships breaks up. All that you saying, or they tell you, all those things might be true. Yeah, mama might not be in pain no more. Daddy might not be in pain no more. That might be true. They're in a better place. That might be true. He's too wise to make a mistake. That too is true. But that is not the time you say that to people in the midst of the moment. That just does not help a person. Here's another one. And in a difficult moment, a person says, telling a person that's going through a painful divorce or a breakup, well, I knew that wasn't going to work out. Well, girl, I could have told you he wasn't the one. Or, man, I told you, you can find somebody else. There's plenty of women out there. She ain't the only one out there. Y'all, those statements don't help a person heal. It just doesn't. Those people in that moment are hurting. You're not offering them comfort by saying that. Let me break this down for you. Let Pastor Casey break this down. A number one sign of grief, and this is a word that we oftentimes don't talk about, but that word is listlessness. That word is listlessness. That is a sign of grief. That is a sign of depression, a sign of hurt. What that means is, and I know you have trouble putting a label on what you're feeling. Some of you say, oh, I just feel numb. You feel blah. You feel lethargic. You kind of just like walking through life day to day. You have a lack of energy, a lack of interest, a lack of a little or no enthusiasm for things. It's like nothing really excites you. It's like you go through the motion. Anybody relate to what I'm saying today? This show, as I said, gonna bless you. It's gonna be beneficial. Somebody out there watching today, you know what this show is about because you felt this. Some of you wrote me emails expressing the fact that this is what you feel. You just can't put your finger on it. Help me, Pastor KZ. I'm not excited about things anymore. I'm just not the same since my mama died. I'm not the same since my father passed away. I am not the same when the only person who I felt loved me was my grandmother passed away. I'm not the same, Pastor KZ, that my husband is gone or my wife has died and left me. I am lost. I am lethargic. I feel numb. I don't want to be bothered some days. Some days I don't even know how to get going. Am I helping anybody today? Am I hitting any points, any emotions from someone today? Listlessness. Anybody ever felt this? Y'all, after a loss, you deal with the initial shock. Now, let me say this. When I say the initial shock, when people say, well, man, his daddy was 90-some years old, Pastor KZ, and he had Alzheimer's. He was sick. My husband knew he was going to die. Girl, you are not even comforting this man. Y'all, let me be very clear. It doesn't matter if a person has an end-stage disease or you already know that they're in their 80s and 90s. Nothing can prepare you for the day you get that phone call that your mama, your daddy, your husband, your wife, or your child has exited this earth in transitions. I don't care how much you have watched or witnessed them going to chemo, going to dialysis, going to their radiation treatments. Nothing prepares you for that day when the phone call comes. So you are processing and digesting the shock from the phone call stating they're gone. Am I helping somebody today? Because if I'm not helping you, I'm helping me. So I'm blessing somebody today. If I only hit and help one person, that is what my call is, y'all. This is my passion. This is what my purpose is. To be here to help you think. To be here to empower somebody, encourage somebody, and to help someone move to the next stage in life, the next level, to give you a better quality of life. I can't heal the hurt. I can't reduce the pain, but what I can do is talk about things and say things that maybe you can't talk about or express, but you feel them. Nothing prepares you for that shock, that day when you get that phone call. I have a mini book coming out on Amazon real soon called The Call. The Call, that's the title. And what that mini book alludes to and is going to address is the day you get that phone call. Sometimes, y'all, it may take weeks, months, even years. Because I spoke to someone the other day, and they were telling me their mama has been gone now 11 years. And they said, Pastor Casey, some days I cry just like the day of. Some days it's just a pain and I can't explain it. She said, some days I want a conversation with mama, and I pick up the phone, and some days I just hold my phone. Some days I just play her voicemail back over and over from 11 years ago. So sometime, y'all, processing grief takes more than just, Okay, the day of the funeral, all right, the next day you need to get on with life and move on. You're supposed to just pick up, going back to your job like this didn't happen. To the people who's able to do that, kudos to you. But to the people who sit here and say, Pastor K, I didn't shed a tear the day my mama left. You might not have had a relationship with your mom like others. So that's not for you to judge other people. I hear some people say, that boy, that girl didn't shed a tear at his mama funeral or her mama funeral. Maybe they didn't have no more tears left. Maybe you didn't see the tears in the family car when that person was falling apart. Maybe you didn't see the tears when they sit or kneeled at the bedside. We're so quick to judge and run our mouths, especially people who say they're Christians. Y'all go to funerals simply to watch the family, don't you? You go there to critique what they got on. They got it laid out nice. They sure put their daddy away nice. I don't know why the pastor let them have that funeral at the church. He wasn't even a member. Y'all talk too much. The whole thing is about the people sitting there who you saying time heals all wounds, and these people still broken. They still hurt. They're grieving, and you sitting up here going to the look to see, that's a cheap casket they put him in, isn't it? Well, I guess all them women, y'all know they had to get a GoFundMe to bury him. Y'all talk too much of the wrong things. You know what? Because this person or these people sitting here on them first 2 to 3 rows and who getting out them family cars, those people now have to understand and start processing life now without that person. A man or a woman who's going through a divorce and they really love their husband or their wife, and some have children involved, some got grown children, or some didn't have any children between them, but they may have stepchildren. These people, some of them are hurt. They're broken because the life they once knew from day to day is no more. You think about this part. Your life without that person who have been a part of your life all your life, or a lot of years of your life, knowing you will never see them, knowing you will never hear their voice again, knowing that you will never see their smile, you'll never hear their laughter again, or some funny little things that you two shared together, knowing and processing that holidays are now gonna come up and that person is not there. That presence of that person is gone. Knowing that you will never be able to touch them again. Knowing that you'll never feel your mama embrace you and just rub you and say, baby, everything gonna be all right. Knowing that you don't have your daddy there no more, especially if you're a daddy's girl. And for a boy, especially if you was a mama's boy, knowing no matter what you did, mama or daddy was gone. It's all right. I'm here, baby. It's all right. Mama loves you. Daddy loves you. Those things, I'm getting shaken right now doing this. I didn't think I would get emotional, but knowing the presence of that person is no longer there. They've been part of your life, and now no more. Being in a marriage where you're used to your routine, you're used to the husband coming home and y'all chopping it up about how things went at work today, preparing a meal together, going Christmas shopping together, having birthday parties for the children together. That's no more. And for people to sit there afterwards and say, I could have told you how that was going to end. You just get over it, child, and move on. See, reality has now set in that, man, I'm not over this. I'm just not over this. Let me say this. I've heard people say that accepting the reality of the loss is so overwhelming. It feels like days just run together. And truth be told, the answer is no. Time does not heal all wounds. And that's real talk. Y'all, Pastor KZ got to end this one because it's getting to me because it's hitting home now. See, every show I do, it does hit home with me for certain and different reasons. Some things I personally haven't experienced, but this show today, I've experienced this. I'm going to do another part of this and probably do a whole week just about grief and loss. But it's just a difficult one for me today. Get focused, find your balance. Always remember, you got to pray, and you got to always remember, get yourself focused, find your balance. Some days is good and some days is bad, but never lose hope. Never lose hope and never give up. As long as you live, always find a reason to keep going on. It's not over just yet. Y'all be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow.